الحمد لله رب العالمين حمد عبادي الذاكرين الشاكرين وأصلي وأسلم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم أجمعين. أما بعد, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh everyone. Today is the second episode of our series, and before we charter onto our new verse of today, I just want to touch on the verse of yesterday. There's just another meaning that maybe we missed. Many meanings, of course, but one extra one that I wanted to tackle is the context in which that verse came in. The context before the verse 189, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was saying, وَلَا تَأْكُلُوا أَمْوَالَكُمْ بَيْنَكُمْ بِالْبَاطِلِ وَتُدْلُوا بِهَا إِلَى الْحُكَّامِ لِتَأْكُلُوا فَرِيقًا مِنْ أَمْوَالِ النَّاسِ بِالْإِثْمِ وَأَنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ. And do not eat the money of one another without a right. وَتُدْلُوا بِهَا, nor throw as bribes to the judges in order to devour part of other people's wealth illicitly while you know. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He made very clear here a few things. Number one, don't take anything from anyone that's not your right. And number two, He gave the example of someone who gives a bribe to someone who is in power. Tadlu is a bucket that goes down a well. So basically He's saying that people in power that accept to take bribes are like people who are very low. They're really down in a well and they're loathsome people. Don't put down your money down that well and be low like them and give them that lowly status. Don't increase them in their lowliness, basically. And don't do that so that you can eat a portion of people's money. Usually lobbying. What's lobbying? A group of people getting an advantage over another group of people. Usually. For Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He gave that verse before He mentioned the verse of when they ask you about the moon, and then when they ask you about the hijja or the crescents, and they ask you what is birr. And He was talking basically that birr, if you want, as an introduction into the part of birr is don't take something that's not yours. Remember, we always talk about the don't do's before the do-do's. That the don't do's is don't take something that's not yours. And the scholars comment here and they say, it's not just about money. Money is the most apparent thing that you can take that's not yours. But there's so much more that you can take that's not yours. You can take someone's pride by making them look bad, and they didn't do anything wrong. And even if they did something wrong, you're not supposed to make them look bad publicly. Except in very particular situations where it is the best thing to do, and that is very rare, and it comes with a lot of hikmah to do it. It's taking someone's emotions, making them feel like they are worthless or they are unable to accomplish something, by making them feel that they are helpless, etc. But this is just something that it's within the context. Now today's verse, or today's ayah, I should say, I'm going to put it in the chat just so you can see it, and I'm going to read it inshallah. Here it is in the chat. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, الحج أشهر معلومات فمن فرض فيهن الحج فلا رفث ولا فسوق ولا جدال في الحج وما تفعلوا من خير يعلمه الله وتزودوا فإن خير الزاد التقوى واتقون يا أولي الألباب. Pilgrimage is during specific months, specific known months, ma'lumat, not ma'dudat, not ma'duda. In other places Allah speaks about Hajj that it is ma'dudat, enumerated days, and enumerated days as less than 11, because yes, Hajj altogether in its entirety, it is less than 11 days. And the actual Hajj is less than 11 days, and it passes very quickly as well, so you can put it on the umbrella of 11 days. By the way, the 13 days of Hajj, in these 13 days, you don't have to be there from the 1st of Dhull hijja. And if you're there from the 5th, from the 6th, from the 7th of Dhull hijja, your Hajj is still accepted. It's all about catching Arafah, the day of Nahr, and the 3 days of Mina. So those three together, they're 5 in total. Taban, you have extra before them because it's not right to do Hajj in that tight package, but technically speaking, it's allowed. Pilgrimage is during specific months. So whoever decides And again, English cannot capture everything in Arabic, but I'm just translating it كده softly on the run, and then we'll come to it again. So whoever decides to perform pilgrimage, then there shall never be intercourse, nor ungodliness, nor disputation during the pilgrimage. And whatever good you do, Allah knows of it. And this is bad. This is the punchline of today. وَتَزَوَّدُوا, and increase and take extra provision. For the best of provision indeed is mindfulness of Allah, taqwa, or God consciousness of Allah, and be mindful of me, O people of deep understanding. Right. First of all, al-Hajj ashhur ma'lumat. After Ramadan, we have Shawwal, and we have Dhul Qa'dah, and we have Dhul Hijjah. These three are the ashhur ma'lumat. These are the 3 months of Hajj. People would prepare for Hajj from the beginning with these 3 months. Yani we forget, because we have airlines, so we think that we can just take an airline and Hajj is just beginning of the Hajj. No, people would come from all over the place, so they needed a long time to get to Mecca. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that if you want to do your ihram, if you want to start on the journey of Hajj, some people actually would go 6 months before. Yeah, they would travel because they come from far away and they know they cannot make it in time, so they need more time. But the pure months for Hajj are these months: Shawwal, Dhul Qa'dah, Dhul Hijjah. And all 3 of them are Ashhur Hurum. They're Ashhur where it's not allowed to have war, number 1. Number 2, your deeds are multiplied and your sins are also multiplied. So a sin in them is grave and a deed in them is amazing as well. So these are the months of Hajj. فَمَنْ فَرَضَ فِيهِنَّ الْحَجِّ. Now this word is very lovely. إنه فَمَنْ فَرَضَ. Farada comes from fard, right? Farida, it's obligatory action. إنه I am making Hajj obligatory on myself. Think about it. Aslan, as a Muslim, if you can make it, Hajj is one of your 5 pillars. Aslan, you have to do them whether you like it or not. But Allah gives you a status of فَمَنْ فَرَضَ فِيهِنَّ الْحَجِّ. Whoever has taken it upon himself willingly, openly, sacrificed and said, this year I am going to be of the Hujjaj, I am going to be a person on the pilgrimage, I am going to sacrifice my money and my time, and I might go and not come back. How many people go and they die and they don't come back? I'm going to do all of this because I'm going to be on the path. That's it. I have chosen. I am going for Hajj. Yani he's giving you the tashrif. He's giving you the dignity and the takreem. Yeah, you chose to put yourself in this situation. Allah would have said, فَمَنْ أَدَّى فَرِيضَةَ الْحَجِّ. Whoever performs the duty of Hajj, the obligatory action. He said, no, فَمَنْ فَرَضَ. Whoever puts it upon himself. Yani, this is the karam of Allah. Aslan, He gave you an obligatory action to do, but then He gave you the honor of the credit of you deciding to make that obligation. Ibn Ata'illah, we always said the scholar Ibn Ata'illah Secondary, the Egyptian scholar who died, I believe 600 years ago. He has a book of hikam, big book of wisdoms. He said, minnat Allah alayk an khalaqa thumma nasaba ilayk. Of the bounties of Allah on you, the favors He has on you, is that He created the thing, and then He gave you the credit of it. You get to say, my eyes. They're not your eyes. Allah gave you your eyes. He made you use them. He made them useful, and then you said, my eyes. It's not your eyes. He is the one who gave you the eyes. You said, my prayers. It's not your prayers. He's the one who gave you Islam, made you want to come to pray, made you love prayer, made you be able to catch the prayer, made you understand how to pray, and then you say, oh, my prayers. It's not yours. It's Allah's. But He gave you the takreem for you to say, my prayers. فَمَنْ فَرَضَ فِيهِنَّ الْحَجِّ. Yeah. May Allah make us of those who want to go to Hajj. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, whoever has the zad, the money and the ability to go, and the health to go to Hajj and Umrah, and doesn't, فَهُوَ مَحْرُوم. He is deprived. He is deprived. And I'm not talking about that the rak'ah in the Masjid al-Nabawi is worth 1,000 rak'ahs, and the rak'ah in al-Haram al-Makki is worth 100,000 rak'ahs, and by extension all your worships. I'm not talking about those. It's the idea that I'm back to the starting point. This is where it all started. This is where Rasulullah, Jibreel came down and opened his chest and cleaned his chest, and his chest was already clean. but he cleaned it of any type of thing that would make him any way close to our sins. This is where Abu Talib threw the efficacies of the animal on the Prophet's head. Maybe I'm going to walk around the Kaaba somewhere where the Prophet was making sujood. This is where it all started. This is where he escaped and they gave him nusra. Everyone says Medina has a taste that Mecca doesn't have, a sweetness that Mecca doesn't have despite the Kaaba. Because Medina is the people who gave nusra to the Prophet. You walk, you feel the kindness. You feel the blessings. The first and last time I ever went to Umrah, I got lost. I was a kid, I got lost. And I wasn't that afraid. And don't ask me how. And I was a person, if I got lost from my family, it was a big deal for me. Because I got lost several times when I was a kid. I didn't feel that bad. There's something about it you cannot explain. فمن فرض فيهن الحج فلا رفث ولا فسوق ولا جدال في الحج. So whoever makes it obligatory upon himself to go to Hajj, there's no rafath, no fusuq, and no jidal. Rafath is not just intercourse. Rafath is everything that has to do with intercourse. So foreplay, making gestures, etc. All of this not allowed. Khalis. Why? Because we are in a rehearsal for Judgment Day. Judgment Day, there's nothing of this. Khalas, it's over. It's over. There's no... Your mind will not think about this at all. It's over. Khalas. And even if you go with your wife for Hajj, whatever, you should limit all interactions that have to do with anything of your private relationship. Completely. Yani Hatta Ibn Abbas used to say that if you told your wife after Hajj we're going to have something, this is wrong. Don't even say that. Completely out of the zone. Wala fusuq. They differed. What is fusuq? Fusuq comes from fisq. Fisq is any type of work, any type of sin, any type of sin, anything. Fisq comes from when you peel something off. So it's as if you're peeling yourself out of your shell of Iman. And some said, no, it's not that. Fisq is everything that breaks your ihram. So if you cut your nails, if you cut your hair, if you put perfume, all of these things invalidate your ihram. And then some said, no, that's not. Fusuq is when you swear at someone. And they took it from the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, سباب المسلم فسوق وقتله كفر. Swearing at a Muslim, if you cuss at someone, this is fusuq. And if you kill them, if you murder them, that's kufr. You're out of the millah of Islam when you kill someone. And some said they're all correct. Any sin is incorrect. Breaking your ihram is incorrect. That's fusuq as well. And swearing at someone is incorrect. And that's why in Hajj and Umrah, please, do not deal with anyone. And we're going to come to why Allah said Zed in a second. Stay away from everyone. Go zone in kida on your mind and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's it. Don't deal with people. Don't shop. Don't go to shop. Why? Because of that Allah says subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَلَا جِدَالٍ. And no bargain and no argumentation. Now you can go shop. But the minute you're going to shop and it turns into an argumentation of no, this is not worth this amount of money. No, you're lying to me. The store next to you sells it for this much, and then he starts to you're telling me I'm lying to you. The minute it turns into this, leave it. Don't buy. Then I know people when they go for Umrah, they say I only buy from high market stores. I don't buy from the street. And you ask them why it's better prices. They said because if I buy from the street, there's a very big probability that I will have an argumentation. And if I don't argue, if I knew that he tricked me and gave me a bad price, I'm going to leave, I'm going to be angry, I'm going to have something in my heart. And I'm going to maybe have enough animosity that I won't be pure. And this is a type of fisq. I'd rather pay extra money and go to the hypermarket and buy from there than buy from the street. I know myself, I cannot deal with this type of things. Fiqh, this is fiqh, by the way. This is understanding yourself and understanding its limitations. And the Prophet ﷺ said, رحم الله امرئ عرف قدر نفسه. Allah has mercy on a person who knows his limitations, what he can, what he cannot do. ولا جدال في الحج وما تفعلوا من خير يعلمه الله. And Allah is saying, whatever you do of good, Allah knows it. Yani if you go and you give people sadaqah, Allah knows it. If you go and you increase in your fasting and in your qiyam and in the umrahs that you do, Allah knows it. If you give sadaqah there, Allah knows it. And by the way, if you stay from these things, just the staying away from the don't do's, Allah is calling it khair. Allah is calling it good. Sometimes we have a limited mindset كده. If you don't do a positive, then it's not a positive. We don't understand that sometimes a negative is a positive. يعني sometimes we think you have to exercise a lot for you to be fit. Just not drinking soda, just not having fast food, just fasting 2 days, 3 days of the month, just drinking a lot of water in the day, just eating foods based on bioavailability, يعني eating your vegetables first and then your carbs and then your protein so you don't get bloating and you don't get indigestion. Just these things is maybe 80%, 70% of your health. The last 30, what differentiates the normal people from the hits and the number ones is exercising every day and being more fit, etc. Don't do's have a lot of value in them. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala stresses that here. If you don't do these things, Allah always remembers it for you. And He knows what you're doing. Now we come to this beautiful verse. It has a very deep meaning. وَتَزَوَّدُوا فَإِنَّ خَيْرِ الزَّادِ التَّقْوَى وَاتَّقُونِ يَا أُولِي الْأَلْبَابِ. And increase in provision. For the best of provisions is taqwa, is God consciousness. وَاتَّقُونِ يَا أُولِي الْأَلْبَابِ. The word taqwa will always come, you will find that it's always coming with Ramadan and always coming with the verses of Hajj and Dhikr. Whenever Allah mentions Hajj, He mentions Dhikr and He mentions taqwa. Taqwa, 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 taqwa. All of what we do is for taqwa. All of what we do, any worship we do, any good action with people, with ourselves, our community, with strangers, with animals, all of it is to purify, to have a heart that's always thinking about what would Allah want, what Allah not want. Taqwa, 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 taqwa. It is the base. And from it you can reach ihsan. If you don't have taqwa, you cannot have ihsan. It's the base. You build on everything. Zad is extra. The word zad comes, yuzawwid is to add something. Zada is the provision that is extra. But the scholars say when you go for Hajj, you add more. If you think you need X amount of money, take 2X. Why? Maybe you get robbed. By the way, my parents, when my mother went for Hajj, went for Umrah, she got robbed. All of her money was taken. All of her, she lost zero. She was walking 0 riyals in her pocket. All of it robbed. If you're robbed, so you don't have to ask people. Because if you have to ask people right and left, you will feel bad. You will think about people and what they think about you instead of thinking about your worship and about Allah. Take extra. Maybe something will happen and you want to help someone, but you can't help them because you have just enough for yourself. Take extra. Because maybe you do something wrong and you want to give a kafara for what you did, or you want to give sadaqah for Allah to forgive you. He gave you this beautiful journey and you didn't put enough your focus on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so you want to give a sadaqah that maybe Allah will forgive you. Take extra. But the best of extras is taqwa. And this is a life lesson. If Allah mentioned materialistically, take extra money and provision for your trip for Hajj here, which is this, what we said is the small Yawm al-Qiyamah, or the small rehearsal of Judgment Day in this dunya. But if we are going back to Judgment Day, what provision, the true Hajj which is there, Judgment Day, the true stage, this is just a rehearsal, this is better, true Hajj over there. What can we take of extras? Taqwa. Taqwa. That's the only thing you can take there. I was just telling a few brothers of mine that moving out, when you move out from one place, it's a very spiritual experience. Because you get to see the amount of things that you have that are not going to benefit you. You're going from one place to the other, and they're just a load. You have to pay for them to move them from A to B. You have to carry them from A to B. You have to package them from A to B. You have to unpack them from A to B. And then when you're there, you have to go through the pain of asking yourself, did I really have to pay for this thing to transport it from A to B? That's exactly what will happen when we reach Judgment Day. لا تزال قدم عبد حتى يسأل عن 4: عن عمره فيما أفناه، وعن شبابه فيما أفناه، وعن ماله مما اكتسبه وفيما أنفقه. The foot of the believer will not move on Judgment Day. You won't go anywhere. Quicksand. You'll be frozen kida, to the floor until you answer 4 questions. 1, your life. What did you spend it in? What was your life about? Making money, or wallahi becoming a self-independent Muslim so I can spend on my family and others and not have to give my hand out and have to hide my Islam because I need money and people don't like Islam, but when I had more money I could actually practice more. I didn't care about people. What was your life about? And your youth, how did you spend it? Ask anyone who has passed their teens into their 20s. People in their 20s who are logical will tell you the things I can do now in my 20s are not the same like what I used to do when I was in my teens. Ask anyone in their 30s, and I always say this, I cannot do the things I used to do in my 20s. I used to be able to pull 3 all-nighters or maybe 2 all-nighters and a half consecutively. Now, if I sleep 2 hours later than my bedtime, it makes an effect on my body. Your youth, what did you use it in? So 2 things are about time. 2 of the questions are time. And then, by the way, forget the balloons. It's just it's an Apple thing. And then 2 other things. Your money, where did you get it from? Where did you spend it in? Because it's not enough for you to spend in good things. We see a lot of people who deal with alcohol. Whatever bad, they have a market, they have a... And then they say, oh, I give half of my money to sadaqah. Or their stocks come from the worst... They have stocks that benefit from companies of alcohol, or companies that enslave people, or companies that support genocide. And say, oh, but I give half of it to sadaqah. No. Where your money comes from is ABC. And then where do you spend it? Taqwa. When you go, this is the provision you have. What did you do with your life? Ask yourself, what did you do with your life? What did you bank on to have this extra Z? What is the extra provision? Imagine kida, when you die, you're going to Judgment Day and you're going to be asked, what currency do you have? What do you have today to spend to save yourself? What are we going to answer? And the easiest way to think about this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives everyone something. So some of us, we have a gift from Allah. Some of us are good with public speaking. Use it for good. Some of us have a talent. We touch dust, we turn it into gold. Some people are amazing at investments. They touch anything, they turn it into gold. Khalas? Use that as your Z. Some people are silent. They reflect a lot, and so they make very good decisions in life. Use it. Some things are a gift, they're just a gift from Allah. Some things, they come easy to you. Some things are difficult, they require effort from you. They require you to practice a lot. And that is something that when you don't do them much, because they always tell us now in coaching, don't focus on your weak points, focus on your strong points and improve your weak points just enough for them to pass. But focus on your strong points. So if you're not a person of, you don't know how to do this deed, for example, whatever deed it may be, you're not big on, sadaqah, for example. Do enough that you enter the door of sadaqah. Maybe you're not a big sadaqah person, but just do enough that you enter the door of sadaqah. But maybe you're amazing at qiyam. Maybe you're amazing at serving people, being there for them physically, like standing with them in their hard times. Be there. And then you have different fields. So you have worship, pure worship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You have character. How polite are you? How much do you withhold your anger? How do you act in public? How do you act with your friends? How do you act with people who look up to you? How do you act with people who you look up to? Do you thank them properly when they give you a favor and then they need you? Do you help them properly? Do you treat them one by one? And if they give you X, you give them X, or if they give you X, you give them 10X as a way of thanking. Allah loves people who thank. Helping others close or far, family members, neighbors, strangers in the street, strangers in the airport, strangers wherever you are. Animals, how do you treat animals? Did you ever save an animal? Did you ever save an animal? Did you ever save an insect? Any question. The environment. Did you ever take into consideration the environment? What are you doing? What products are you buying? What products are environmentally friendly, not environmentally friendly? What's greenwashing? What's not greenwashing? Z, the provision. And before we end, the Prophet ﷺ, he said, use 5 things before 5. He said, use your health before your sickness. Use your wealth before your poverty. Use your time your free time or your availability, basically, before you're too busy. Use your life before your death. And use your young age before you're old. All of these things, most of us have them, by the way. This is your Zad. Use it. Use it wisely. Use it properly. Sayyidina Umar used to say, تَعَلَّمُوا وَتَفَقَّهُوا قَبْلَ أَن تَتَسَيَّدُوا. Learn and understand your deen well before you're put in a position of power. يعني in position of power doesn't mean you have to be the king or the queen or the president. No. Learn your deen before you become a husband. Because when you're a husband and you don't know your deen, it's a very big problem. Learn your deen before you become a wife. Because if you don't know what your obligations are and what your rights are and where should you leave your rights and where should you ask for your obligation, all of these things, if you don't understand these when you become a wife, it's a very big problem. Learn how to be a good, decent community member. How to be a good team player when you have friends. Because when you have friends and you go to university and you have small groups you play football with, you go out with, and you don't know how to be a nice person, you don't know how to give and take, you don't know how to let go sometimes when somebody's a bit, not really in the best of states. If you don't know how to be a team player and be sociable, you won't have a circle. Learn your deen. Learn everything that deen comes with. How to be sociable, how to be forgiving, how to be generous, how to ask for your rights, how to stop people at their limits if you need to. Learn it before you're in a position of making decisions, basically. Everyone who has to make a decision for themselves or the people around them is in a position of power in any stretch whatsoever. So you need to learn your deen before you're in those positions. All of this is Zad. All of this is Zad. And my question to myself and to you, what have we prepared for the rihla, the journey of Yawm al-Qiyamah? Allah says, take extra with you going to Hajj and Umrah. Take extra provision so you don't need to ask people, so you don't need to deal with people, so you can do away with all people, ya akhi. Don't deal with people when you're in Hajj and Umrah. Forget about them. Look towards the Qibla, bas. But what did we do so that on Judgment Day we don't care about people? We've done enough. We've given away with what we don't need and we've increased in our Zad. فإن خير زاد التقوى واتقون يا أولي الألباب. And have God consciousness of me, O you of deep understanding. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ends with this. And subhanallah, people who don't have deep understanding, deep focus and understanding with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's very hard for them to understand these concepts. You see people going to Hajj and they walk out and all they're talking about is food. All they're talking about is the money. It's just a Hajj. I went for Hajj. It was such a nice experience. So beautiful. Yeah, you see people from all over the world. What did you feel? Are you still a racist? Also, people go to Hajj, by the way, they come back still racist. They come back, they still think that their ethnicity is better than others. Tamenta, you went and you saw that he's the same as you and you're both walking and you both have families and did you? No, I'm still racist. What did Hajj do to you? Hajj is supposed to change you. It's supposed to change you as a person. And that's why that the scholars say that these 10 days, أيام ذو الحجة, الحجاج يقصدون البيت وغير الحجاج يقصدون الرب. They said the people that are going to Hajj, they want to go to Hajj because they want to go to the house of Allah. And by the way, the house of Allah, Kaaba, this is the only house Allah chose Himself for His house. And all the mosques in the world we choose. I'm going to buy this piece of land or I'll give this piece of my land for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We choose. But the Baytul Haram, Mecca, Allah is the one who chose this to be His house. And He put Bayt al-Ma'mur in the heavens above it. And He told Sayyidina Ibrahim to build it. But then they said but everyone who's not in Hajj, they want to reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the people who went for Hajj, they're going for the house of Allah. The people out of Hajj, they want to come to Allah. And in the hadith, that Sayyidina Musa, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَأَتْمَمْنَاهَا بِعَشْرٍ, and we completed the 30 days with 10 days, they say that the 10 days that Allah gave Musa as a completion were the 10 days of Dhul Hijjah. Yani they came in the same time of the times of Dhul Hijjah that we have. They're within these 10 days. Sayyidina Musa had his private time with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to speak to Him directly. And that's when Sayyidina Musa said to Allah, وَعَجِلْتُ إِلَيْكَ رَبِّي لِتَرْضَى. It's in the Quran. وعجلت إليك ربي. And I hastened, Ya Rabb. I left my people behind. I didn't care much about them following me. I hasten to you so that you can be content with me. I hasten to you. What can I do? What can I do in these 10 days? Can I read more Quran? I'll read more. Can I do more Qiyam? I'll do more Qiyam. Can I fast? I'll fast. Can I go to the graves? I'll go to the graves. Can I visit the sick? I'll visit the sick. Can I give sadaqah? I'll give sadaqah. Can I feed the poor? I'll feed the poor. Can I study more of your deen? I'll study more. Can I take notes and then teach it to somebody? I will take notes and teach it. Maybe they have more knowledge than me. Maybe they practice it more than me and I will not practice it. But at least I'll get some of what they practiced, even if I don't practice it in your eyes, Ya Allah. Maybe you'll forgive my hypocrisy because I was sincere that I wanted to give it to someone, but I was a hypocrite and I didn't practice it myself. What can I do to come closer, Ya Rabbi? I'm going to do it. وَعَجِلْتُ إِلَيْكَ رَبِّي لِتَرْضَى وَتَزَوَّدُوا. It's the same idea. Allah said increase. Musa wanted to increase. Sayyidina Musa wanted to increase by all means. I know my question to myself and to you. Where is our zad? وَتَزَوَّدُوا فَإِنَّ خَيْرِ زَادِ التَّقْوَى. And increase, for the best of increase in provisions is taqwa. May Allah, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us taqwa. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us of those who increase in all of what they do towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a form of zad for their akhirah, and not as a form of boasting or a form of status or a form of liking in this dunya. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. May Allah increase us. May Allah guide us to what is the best of things we can do in these 10 days. And may Allah, Allahumma a'inna ala dhikrik wa shukrik wa husn ibadatik. Allahumma help us to thank you and to worship you and to be grateful to you in the best of ways. And I remind you all, please create a grid 10 by 10 and put in this grid what would you like to do of the best of actions. Do you want to do your shuruq? Do you want to do the jalsa of shuruq, which is the deeds of having a full hajj and a full umrah, because we cannot be there. So do you want to do that? Do you want to do your qiyam? Do you want to do fasting? Do you want to do more Quran? A grid 10 by 10 deeds, and every day check what you did, what you didn't do, what you can, some days you cannot do everything. Do that grid and find a good companion to help you do these things, a spotter. And if you cannot, ask Allah to be your spotter. And Allah is the best of companions. Subhanahu. Allah is the best of watchers. Allah is the best of witnesses. Allah is the best of companions. Ameen. Rabbil Alameen. Jazakallahu khairan. See you tomorrow inshallah, same time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.